Top of the morning. Welcome to today's Breakfast Club call. It is October 27th, 2022. Wow. My name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host today. But today is not about me. It is definitely about we. And if you have been tuning in to our Breakfast Club calls for over 2 years, right? 2 years plus, but more than that, we're not only looking to give people information, it's inspiration. If you tune in every Thursday at 8 a.m., you understand that how you start the day sets the tone for your day. We always say greatness in is greatness out, garbage in is garbage out. So kudos to each and every single one of you that are taking the time to be on here, to not only take your businesses to the next level, to take your lives to the next level. And commitment always lasts longer in community. And speaking of commitment, speaking of community, speaking of powerhouses, I am excited because this young woman that I have the pleasure, honor, and privilege of hosting on our call today, her and her husband are power couples, right? But I have been following them for nearly a decade in my entrepreneurship journey. Her and her husband recently achieved the rank of Ruby. She is a non-for-profit owner. She is a community activist, formerly a school teacher, formerly a professional counselor. She's an international best-selling author, amazing mom to not one, not two, not three, 7 children, right? Even though 6 of them are grown, she recently decided to start over again, and I'll let her get into her story. But I am excited. If I were you, I will grab a pen and paper because I'm going to be taking copious notes from her. She is killing it. Her and her husband are killing it on the leaderboard as well. And what's even better is that they are positioning their entire team to win. How many of us want to position our entire team to win? Type a 1 in the chat. Type a W if you are ready to win, if you are ready to take some notes. Without further ado, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you my great and beautiful friend, Nadine. Psareas, are you on, Queen?
Good morning.
Great morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much. I know I said a little bit about your story, but we have people on here that are brand new, that have no idea who you are, right? And even though I gave them a little bit of your history, I would love for you to just kind of share with them a little bit about you, and how did you even get into this industry? Tell them who Nadine is. Tell them a little bit about you.
Wow. Normally I say, if you want to know, go read the book, save me some words. But anyway, so awesome. Thanks I'm honored that you even want to know and that you're asking. So, I'm just Nadine, and I used to teach school for about 10 years. I'm a retired educator. And about 11 years ago, I came upon this industry, and I just knew that there was a better way, right? So I jumped into this industry and not really knowing what was going on, but my heart, if you know anything about the colors, my heart is yellow, but if it gets fired up and passionate enough, it goes straight to red. So I'm really an orange. So what I do now, I'm an integrated behavioral health clinician. What that means is I work specifically with behavioral health clients, addiction clients, people with substance use disorder. And I have a 501c3 nonprofit corporation in the community here that we've served over 6,000 people in the last few years. With supports to substance use disorder. And it all started back in a few years ago. We went on a Guatemala bottle school project, and I was faced in the midst of adversity with my son struggling with substance use disorder. And I said, let's just take a whole bunch of people struggling with addiction to Guatemala, build a bottle school. In the midst of adversity, we got to hunker down and just serve others. And that's my coping mechanism, right? So that's kind of what happened with getting us to Ruby too, but I can come to that in a moment. But so that's how it all started. Then the earnings that I got from this industry, I was able to still to this day continue to support my 501c3 nonprofit in the community. So 100% of our earnings, thank you to my husband that he supports the family, I get to do my nonprofit work and help others and help them get into treatment, getting thousands of people into treatment that otherwise could never afford or go to treatment, so they can have a chance at living a lifestyle of recovery. So that's pretty much who I am. My kids are grown. I got 2 fur babies, and yeah, so that's
Wow.
where we're at now.
It's almost, I'm like over here like a fan, right? And it's very amazing, because if there's one thing about you, it's that it like somebody would hear you talk, and like you said, they're like, they don't know that fiery. There will be like, it's very unassuming, because they hear you talk, it's like, oh, she's so soft spoken, and she's so like, she's so sweet. She is, but when she is fired up and passionate, like you said, you quickly go into orange, right? You quickly go and tap into that red. And for those of you who are joining and have no idea what we're talking about when it comes to colors, your yellows are the people that want to save the world, right? The people that are very caring, compassionate. They just want to help people and want to make a difference. Your greens are your very analytical personalities. Your red are your competitive, driven alphas that just want to win, want to get things done. Your blues are, you want to have fun, right? You just want to have fun, sometimes too much fun, but you're all about having fun and culture, etc. And something that you said, and you were like, in how it just kind of all started, right? And I don't know if anybody else picked up what you were putting down. However, I did. And you're like, it started when we were facing some adversity with my son, and we said, hey, let's go take other kids, other people struggling with this, and let's take them to Guatemala and build a bottle school. And if you don't know what that is and you want to be a part of it, you could go to our clubsecret.com website. We have bottle school trips, where is that we, take a group of people to, and I'll kind of let you go into that, but this trip allows people to make a difference, right, in another part of the world. And I love that you said something beyond the trip. Yes, it's amazing. It's an amazing, powerful experience. But you said something, in the midst of adversity, you hunkered down to create an opportunity. And I picked that up because it's kind of what just happened now too, right? And it's how you do anything is how you do everything. And shout out to you, crowns off to you, because of everything that you've been able to overcome, and all of the lives that you are inspiring, all of the lives that you are impacting in, collaboration, obviously, with your husband and your team. But it's pretty amazing, because if nobody's told you that, that is huge. The average person does not do that, but this is why successful people, they do what others don't to live the life that others won't. But it's also because you go through the same things, right? But it's how you respond to it and what you do with what life hands you that gets you through sometimes. And I know that we just kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit there, but I feel like that was just an important message. That was a very important message in what you said. And it just speaks volumes about who you are, whose you are, and why you have so much incredible things going on right now. So you are, you're in this profession, and you get introduced to this industry. And before we kind of get into your current run and all of the success that you're having, I kind of want to take people through, because this business, we just had Matt Morris that just had a call that was like, when we're getting people on the business, it's like, sell them, right? We sell them, get them sold. And it's what I noticed also, that more than anything, it's that, yes, there are things that we do, inviting, presenting, right? Educating, enrolling. However, what I did like that you said something was that, even with you being a professional, even you being in the industry that you were into, you were still open to the industry of network marketing. But it was more so you were open to being able to make a difference in your life, your community, and the people that you love. And a lot of times you're on somebody's chicken list, Nadine, right? Like you are somebody that is a professional, and you happen to be on a chicken list. And if you're like, I don't know what this, what, if you're on here brand new, you're like, what this chicken list you talking about? It's the people that you don't feel comfortable reaching out to. I always tell our teammates, you never run out of people to contact. You just run out of people that you're comfortable talking to, right? So you would be someone that typically on somebody's prospect list, probably top 5 in the people that I wouldn't be comfortable, right? You would be on my chicken list. So how is it, where were you in what space, or, you know, what level of, what would you say to someone that wants to reach out to someone that's a professional like you, someone that has a great career, someone that has a great family, that from the outside looking in is already winning, right? Like what space were you in to even look at this industry?
Well, it wasn't always that way though. So I was an educator. I taught kindergarten and second grade.
Right.
And teacher salaries just don't pay a whole lot. It didn't pay enough for what I wanted to do. And so then I took on a part-time thing that turned into, I think it turned into full-time while it was a lot. I was working a lot with Lancome, skincare, yeah. So the top brand cosmetics, right? It's interesting, same manufacturer that Secret uses, except Lancome is owned by L'Oreal Paris, where Secret is not, which is super cool. So what happened is, yeah, I had lost that job, and let me tell you what happened. They were talking about sales. You got to get sales, and I'm like, I'm not about the sales. I'm not about the money. I'm not about the sales. I just want to do my job and do what I'm supposed to do. And I said, you know what? And if I really want to make some sales, like they're telling me to, I'm going to build relationship with people. So all the little old ladies who come up to the counter and all the people that, would come by, I didn't even worry about sales or quota. I just sat there and built relationship with them. And next thing you know, I had these little old ladies buying $500 jars of cream. And I'm like, they did that because I gave them the time of day, I didn't try to sell them. I just loved on them. And so what happened is within a few months' time with that approach, I ended up breaking their comp plan and became the #1 top sales in the entire Southeast region with Lancome. And I didn't even try. It was just about building relationship. So I was like, okay. And so they let me go. Right after they celebrated me, they let me go because I broke their comp plan. So I was like, what do I do? And I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to keep teaching. I don't know what to do. And we got this phone call out of the blue by my husband's really good friend, Rob Campbell. Gosh, this is 12 years ago now, I think. And he said, I got to show you something fun. And they're like, okay, I'm ready for some fun. I'm open and receptive for opportunity, because I was a little hurt that I got let go, So that's how I got into it, honestly. My husband is in real estate, and so Rob is in real estate too. So I guess, I don't know, maybe Pete was the chicken list person at that time. But then it grew into a whole bunch of personal growth and development through the training system that we have. And I just evolved and grew up as a person and realized my passion was really, really to help others. And then adversity hit our family. And something about me, and I guess it's because of, well, not I guess, it is because of the faith that I have, my faith. When pressure comes on me, I already know in my foundation, and if this is not for you, I respect you, but for me, in my foundation, no matter what happens, God still sits on the throne. Last I checked, he has not been dethroned. Last I checked, he has not been dethroned, right? So I have that foundational belief in me that no matter what happens, my faith will carry me through. And so I get a choice. When adversity and pressure happens, I can either break or I can break records, right? So I'm like, all right, let's just do something out of the blue. Let's take all these people in Guatemala, in the midst of their addiction, and let's just like bust all predictions put upon them. Oh, you got a 10% chance of surviving. opiate addiction, that all these words were spoken over these kids. And I said, no, we're going to take them to serve. So we went to Guatemala. We built a school. I mean, by the end of that week, nobody wanted to come home from Guatemala. Their self-worth and purpose was so elevated in their lives that it was just awesome to see how their lives have transformed. And they're all doing well today at this time, which is amazing. So that was our out of the box therapeutic recovery project. And so then that's just been a pattern in my life. When there's adversity, you hunker down and you got to shine. You got to shine. You got to let God take over. And it's good when he takes over, because really it's him who shines, right, through you. So that's the only way I know how to roll. That's the only way I know how to cope. And that comes from my foundation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So you said a few things. First of all, I'm like, over here, you got the chats blowing up because everybody is just standing in agreement with what you're saying. And I love everything that you just shared. And something that you said, well, you said two things that resonated a lot with me. Obviously, like what you do in the face of adversity, but you also said building relationships. You talked about building relationships, and we believe that is one of the greatest aspects of building this business. It is building relationships because, it's building people, right? You don't build a business, you build people, and people build a business. But I love that you said that has been, part of your secret sauce is building relationships. And talk to us about, and you also talked about training, right? You talked about the importance of personal development, because people see you and they're like, oh my gosh, she's a Ruby agent, international best-selling author, all of these great things, not-for-profit activist, integrative health, like, wow, amazing. However, you said something, you're like, I made a commitment also to the development and training. So however you want to get into that, but I would say, how important was you going to our last training event, The View, to propel you into the run to Ruby? And obviously you and Pete have been working towards Ruby for a while. However, how instrumental was going to The View to get you guys where you're at right now and your team?
It was surprisingly instrumental, because it was another time of adversity when we went to The View. And, just backing up just a moment, after that bottle school trip, I got into the field of integrative nutrition, then became a board certified therapist in counseling. So then I got into the integrative addiction world, right, and behavioral health. And so I really enjoyed doing that in the nonprofit. And I loved how our previous company funded the nonprofit and helping others and all that. But the training system gave me some amazing mentors, right? And one of my really, really like closest mentors, one of my best friends, Jefferson, he taught me so much, all the leaders, everyone has taught me so much, but Jefferson, I stood close to him. And then it was time for him to move on in his life about a month ago. And after 11 years, my mentor is like, where'd you go? What do we do now? Where'd you go? And to me, it was a rock in my stomach for a little bit, but then I knew I had to, in the midst of pressure, you got to hunker down, do what you got to do. So I made the choice of, I'm not going with my mentor to his new project. I'm staying with this, because the community that has been built in secret, the integrity, the excellence, the personal growth and development, that's what's gotten me along in life, because we all have life. We all have life, right? And life sometimes serves you up some crud, but that's okay. It's how you respond to it. And so through all this training, I've been developed, and I'm totally transformed into a different person to really understand how to respond to the crud, right? So I got to The View, and many of my team members were like deer in the headlights, like, what do we do now? Where's our mentor? Where's our leader? Where's this? I saw everybody, there's kind of like a, yeah, just that deer in the headlights kind of looking. And some people were kind of sad. And I was like, wait a second, this is not what we're coming together here for the view for. And then I thought, all right, enough of this. We've all got to get together, and we've all, and I'll grab another leader. I grabbed Muzaffar. Muzaffar was hosting the whole event. He was so busy, but he still made time to come and hang with us. And I said, Muzaffar, can you please just talk to our group and tell them that we're going to be okay, that everything's going to be good. And he came with no time to spare. He gave us his time, and served us and shared with everyone. And so then it got everyone's faith back that yes, we still have leaders. And then so we started going through the event, but there was still a little bit like, why did our leader go? Why did all this happen? And I said, all right, enough of this. We got to change the focus. So I said, all right, a lot of us have been sitting around here for a lot of years. It's time to hit some rank. It's time to have some success that we have not had in years. I'm sick of sitting stagnant. All of us, most of us are sitting stagnant. And I said, forget the restaurants that we'd planned to go out to. Forget this fun thing that we were going to do at this event. We're all going to sit down at every break that we have around the same old table at the lounge downstairs. And we're going to break out the papers, and we're going to figure out, Carlos, this is what you got to do to get to gold. Nikki, this is what you got to do to get to gold. This is what you got to do to get to this. This is what you got to do. We're all going to come together as a community. We're going to put this in on this team. And what that's going to do is we need you to put in your share on that side. And that's going to bring you to. So we came up with a whole mathematical strategic plan. I was like a mad scientist, had like 4 notebooks filled with scratch notes. And it's like this, it just came over to me like, we're gonna do this. Like, this is the marching orders. And do I have everybody's buy-in? Are we gonna do this? And I said, you sure? You sure? Over and over. And then we got home from the view, and I was like, you guys sure? Come on, let's do it. And so I took them through one by one. It's your turn. It's your turn to put in. It's your turn. It's your turn. Come on, let's make calls. Let's do this. And so we kind of went into a blur for a whole week after the view, and just like hunker down like never before, so that the subject of losing our leader wouldn't even come up. Like we replaced it with a different energy, which we had to do. And so then I see so-and-so pop silver, and I'm like, ooh, the plan is working. This is great. So-and-so pop gold. So-and-so da-da. And then we were going. And then I had to go teach a class that night in my nonprofit. And in the middle of teaching my class, after I'd seen all my teammates, pop rank, not all of them, but a lot of them pop rank. In the middle of my class, I see something beep on my phone. Congratulations. I was like, oh my God, I hit Ruby. This is awesome. So I was focused on collecting smiles on other people's success. I wanted other people to succeed. I was determined to collect that smile. I said, listen, if we're in this together, we're going to win together. And if I am going to make a run to Ruby, I'm not going alone. You guys are all going, and my success is just going to have to organically come from that. I mean, I put in I maybe put in 4 or 5 sales, but I really heavily focused on my community, bringing them together, knowing them that this is a place of love. Love is going to be our legacy. Just like Jesse McPherson says, we're going to leave love as our legacy. And so that's how we did our run, is we came together and had to do it together with a plan.
I love that. And it's so much that you said. And I know that, we want to make the best use of time, but there's so many things that you said. And one of them was that, you did not miss the training. And I've seen, so like you said, it's like adversity makes you break or makes you break records. And I know that life happens to all of us. Like you said, like life happens to all of us, and it's how we respond to it. But, you had so many reasons why you didn't need to go to the training. You had so many reasons why you could have just said, hey, you know what? This adversity is going to just get the best of me this time around, and I'm not going. Or just, letting whatever was going on in life deter you from going to the view, deter you from making it happen and putting yourself first. Because when you make a decision to go to training, you're not putting your business first, you're putting yourself first, because you're saying, I'm worthy of receiving this knowledge, but I'm worthy of living my dream life. But for me to live my dream life, I have to develop into that person that is deserving of that, because there's something that I need to know to get me where it is that I want to go. And another thing that you said when you got there, you're like, you know what? My team was like a deer in headlights, like they were kind of like all over the place. But leaders do one thing, right? Leaders influence. Leaders bring certainty to an environment that there isn't any. And that's what you did. That's what you did, because you could have just let what was going on be like, oh, it's okay. Whatever, it is what it is. Let me just kind of roll with the punches. But you're like, no, I'm going to take ownership. I'm going to bring you certainty, and I'm going to bring you some reinforcement with that certainty with our other leaders, you know. And I love that Muzaffar said that the other day. He said, yeah, you could have had one of your mentors leave, but you didn't have your upline leave, because I'm still here and we always got your back, you know. And the Bench About family and everybody, we're always going to have your back. And I love that. And I love that even during training, right? You said, you know what? I'm going to make a decision to get to Ruby. And when you decide, right, we kill off all other options, but you also decided that you were going to bring your team with you, most importantly. And you said, okay, whoever's in, let's do it. And you failed to plan to fail. You did a plan of action right then and there. Be like, okay, this is what it looks like for you to get to goal. This is what it looks like for you to get to goal, for you to like, so you can tell that there was so much intention behind what you were doing, but there was also expectation, right? Because expectation is the breeding ground for miracles. But that expectation mixed with your level of desire and intentionality is what kept you pushing through, what kept you persisting and persevering. That energy was contagious onto your team. Truly, truly, truly remarkable. So I know that you said, you know, you put this person in, your team was putting people in, but you're killing it on the leaderboard, right? And I know we've had a conversation about this, but talk to me about how it looks like, because I know you're putting between you and your team, you guys are putting in from professional packs to, you know, power packs to the entry level packs, but what does that look like? What does that conversation seem like? I know every conversation is different, but talk to us, like what those conversations look like when you're putting these people in, or what does it sound like?
Okay, so we're mostly putting in professional packs, a few of the preview packs, and I think we only did one of the power pack, right? The 700 pack, like one of them. So we're mostly putting in 2,000 packs. Why are we doing that? I think I failed to tell you an extremely important element that happened here through the course of the weekend. Through the course of the view, our company handed to us on a gold platter double volume.
Yeah.
A
sure
promo. Did. And in the history, Muzaffar had said they've never done something like that. So that means if you want to go to Ruby, all you have to do is the work of a platinum, right? It's half the work. And I said, you know, it's like a deal that's too good to pass up on, right? And that honestly was just the fuel added to the fire that we needed when I said to everybody, you guys, we got double volume. We'd be stupid not to do this. It's like, come on. I just had a conversation with someone last night. I said, listen, I said, I needed a couple thousand, because, you know, when you roll over on a Monday night, a little bit of volume can drop off, right? And it dropped off and put me a little under Ruby. And I said, oh, no, we can't have it. We got to get it back up, right? So I made a phone call to someone and I said, listen, I don't even have much time to discuss here because I've got to get somewhere. But you have a nonprofit, okay? I have a nonprofit. We know the holidays are coming up. That nonprofit has a website with Secret, because that's a business position we have in Secret as a nonprofit. And we got a whole online store there, and we're going to get 30%. Actually, till November 17th, you can get 40% commission on customers. Now, do we want to do the booster clubs and football teams and all that? They do the magazines with the wrapping paper, right? That overpriced wrapping paper that they sell at holiday time that, you know, everybody feels obligated to buy. It's a $25 roll of wrapping paper, and you don't want to use this much of a corner because you feel like you're wasting money, you know. And then they got the chocolates that are stale with the nuts in them. I'm like, why would people be doing that? And so I called my friend. I said, you got a nonprofit, forget that other stuff. We're gonna let's do this. And so this is what you need to do, because I was like mad and I didn't have time. You need to go in your office. Here's your login. If you don't know how to log in, here's your login. Go click down, and I showed them how to get on the binary. Click on this spot right here. You need to put in a $2,000 pack. This is a nonprofit business expense. You just need to do it. And then we need to get this rolling over the holidays for a nonprofit fundraiser. So that was one approach, right? Not everyone can you approach like that. Other approaches were, I know that this is a stretch for you, but I want to show you the math. If you put in this 2,000 pack, you're automatically going to do this because we're putting this under you as a team. So it's causing you to cycle 6 times. You're automatically getting $770 back on your next check. And we kept doing the math until it was like, you're almost brain dead not to do this, So I would mathematically try and prove it to them, and they'd be like, all right, let's do it. And I said, and then we'll earn the rest back because we're building as a team, and cycles are going to happen. So that's how we got the 2,000 pack. A lot of them. I think I did 4 of them, but my team did the majority of them, right? So golly, when the company gives you a promo like double volume, geez, you got to jump on that. I think that's the best promo we ever got, aside from an included trip. Oh, and then in addition to that, it's like, all right, so now you're getting $770 back. You're getting your either 200 or 400 back on top of that, right, for a direct commission. So now it's like, then you got a bunch of Christmas gifts, so, and then you're getting 3 trips, 3 getaways. How could you not do this? So it was kind of like the urgency, and I'm usually a very soft-spoken, quiet person, but when I see a deal that's like too good to pass up, man, I'm all over it, and I got to spread that good word. So that was a couple approaches. Some other approaches, I noticed I was on the leaderboard below for the customer stuff. So I have a shelf in my office filled with secret products. And I had someone come in, and while I was at the view, and one of my employees sold them $700 worth of stuff they just bought off the shelf. And someone said to me, Nadine, that's because you have an office, and that's because you have a shelf and you have inventory, and most people don't have that. And I said, you know what I got to say to that? My upline doesn't have a shelf or an office or an inventory. And think about that. My upline doesn't have that. So find someone who does and put them in. That's all I got to say. Find someone who does, find someone who has something you don't have, so someone who does something better than you, and recruit them. Get them to do the work for you. It's called leverage, right? My upline never had a shelf or had customers coming in anywhere, but he sure loved having me in. So there we go. That's all I got to say about that.
That's so good. You said so much. The chats are blowing up. The incredible value that you're adding. Some of the things that stood out to me, I'm over here taking notes. You got to take advantage of the opportunity within the lifetime of the opportunity, right? Taking advantage of the volume, taking advantage of the promotion. Like this is, Matt Morris said it the other day, and I had to add, like, it's the most irresistible offer. I'm like, yeah, it's the most irresistible, sexy offer that we've ever had, like, our hands on, to add value to people's lives. And I love that. And that you say, they pretty much are giving it to us on the platter. And to get to Ruby, all you're doing is doing the work of a platinum, right? So it's the mindset also, like we were talking about earlier, it's the mindset behind what you're doing, right? And having that vision. You also have a sense of urgency when you're calling these people, whether you're calling non-for-profit owners, whether you're calling your teammates, you have a sense of urgency. And that urgency, it's like, it's contagious. That urgency is contagious. And Another thing that I love that you're doing is that you're providing solutions, and a lot of times when we are, people don't like to call this sales, this is sales, right? A portion of it is, but it's more so when you're providing solutions to people, it doesn't feel like sales, right? You're a solution provider because you found a need in, whether it's a non-for-profit owner, whether it's another business owner, whether it's a teammate, you found a need, and then you're like, okay, well, how can I specifically tailor this opportunity to fulfill or solve that need? And then when you do that, you're also casting vision as to what it's going to look like, right? And even when you're casting that vision, you're like, okay, well, these are the alternatives that we have. If you don't want to do it this way, what you're going to do, booster club? And it's kind of, but you're adding so much value to the opportunity that it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer for the people that you're talking to, and it's absolutely amazing. I love that you're also letting them know, listen, this is a non-for-profit business expense, right? That's huge when you're talking to business owners, especially non-for-profit owners. And I love also that even when you were talking to your teammates, and that's something that I myself need to get better at. Even when you're talking to your teammates, it's not just showing them, okay, well, this is the profit that you can get, but it's also, okay, well, this is the profit that you can get, but let's break it down so that you could see how you could immediately get this back, even though you're investing this, and ultimately it's going to be beneficial for you in the long run, right? And again, it goes back to, we're building community. So no matter who you're talking to, you have urgency, you have a level of expectancy mixed with desire, right? You're casting vision, and you're talking about the importance of community. So I love everything that you're doing. I love everything that you got going on. I'm pretty much going to just give you the floor. I'm done asking questions for right now. In the meantime, if anybody else has anything that they want to ask, please feel free to put it in the Q&A. But I thank you so much for just sharing beyond your time today, your heart, your passion. It's always a pleasure. I am super excited for all of the success that you and your husband and your team are continuously having. I know you guys are going to blow Atlanta up. We are going to be right there with you come February time, January for the RTE, but I'm super just excited for you and everything that we have going on. Thank you for leading the way that you are, and with your heart. And so greatly appreciate you. Whatever you want to leave us with, whatever's on your heart, the floor is yours. And thank you again, Nadine, for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm going to say, and I have no problem with transparency. I'm an open book, and everything. But when I went to the View, and I'm assuming the entire audience on here are people who are secret agents, right? So on my left, even though it's platinum, I was down to 5,000 on my left. And on my right, I was down to 6,000. Right? Just because you have a rank doesn't mean you're always holding that number, right? It went up to 47,000 and 43,000 now in that short amount of time. What I'm going to say to you is nothing is impossible with God. If you lead with love, lead with a pure intention, lead with a heart that wants to see others win. If you get your dopamine fix by serving others, by seeing other win, because honestly, you do get I could chemically prove that for you in your brain. You get a higher dopamine rush by serving others, by being the giver at times instead of just the receiver. We all get some dopamine from that, but still, if you focus on serving others, I don't care if you're depressed, if you're going through adversity, if you're going through a hard time, get out of your comfort zone. Just do it. Just go serve others, help others, collect smiles from others, love others, serve God, and He will take care of the rest. You just keep doing your best, pray that it's blessed, and He'll take care of the rest. And that is what I saw happen. Nothing is impossible with God. And that's my message.
Wow. Yes, ma'am. Amen. Thank you so much for blessing us. And I stand in agreement with you. And on that note, breakfast has been served. Thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate you, love you, and I can't wait to see you and looking forward to your continued success. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye, guys.
Fire.